If it's in Hampton Roads, it's on the Hampton Roads Show.
Welcome to the Hampton Roads Show. Our live audience today is from the Norfolk Police Department and the Citizens Police Academy. Coming up a little later, we'll talk with them about staying safe around downtown through the holidays and beyond.
And we're in the kitchen with Chef Travis Brutz from the Williamsburg, and today he's going to make a couple of items from their appetizer and dinner menu: a frisee salad and lobster risotto.
And we've got some advice for you on how to stay warm as the cold weather comes in. Looking for those drafty spots, we can help you out. And also this weekend kicks off the 15th annual Mayflower Marathon, a 57-hour food drive to stock the shelves of local food banks just in time for the holidays. Our friends from Bayport Credit Union are here to tell us more about this massive food drive and how easy it is for you to take part. And then when you're crossing the Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel, you're probably paying more attention to the traffic than you are to some of the historical sites nearby. On today's postcard from Hampton Roads, we're going to stop at Fort Wool, a deserted island with a long history.
Take us for a little drive today, huh?
Yeah, and a boat ride.
Oh, and a boat ride. I like going on a boat.
Yeah, it's cool.
And we got Travis here, and it smells delicious already. Can't wait to get cooking in the kitchen.
Frisee salad. Never knew lettuce had its own name.
Frisee.
Frisee.
Hey, big shout out to Justin Verlander, Old Dominion pitcher, named Cy Young Award winner last night.
Awesome.
The best in the business. Got to have to do that sports plug in there right now.
Absolutely. We would expect nothing
Sports
less.
plug.
Absolutely. We have a couple of hot topics to talk about today. That's how we get things started. If you're new to the Hampton Roads Show, welcome. Every day we start with a couple of hot topics, and one is local. DePaul Hospital is hiring. That's the good news. But if you're a smoker, it's the bad news. No smokers need apply. They do not allow smoking. They want their employees to not smoke. Now, if you're already working there and you smoke, they're still going to encourage you to quit, but you're not going to get fired or anything. But they are implementing a new policy that said from now on, future hires must be non-smokers. They will give you a test to test you for nicotine. So you can't just, like spray yourself with potpourri spray and say,
that doesn't work.
Pack your mouth with gum and be like, I don't smoke. They're going to test you, and if you test positive for nicotine, they say you can reapply in 6 months.
Testing positive for nicotine. You know what? They can do that.
They're a private company.
They can do that because they're private.
The state can't.
I know. A lot of people out there who are smokers are like, I don't like this. A lot of non-smokers are saying, okay, it's about time. So it's the cross between.
Where do you draw the line, though? What if they said, don't apply if you don't look both ways before you cross the street? Don't apply if you eat Twinkies every day and never exercise.
Yeah. I mean, I think their intention is in the right place. I think it's a good idea. I don't smoke. I don't really care for people who, smoking, the habit to me is just like, I like chewing tobacco and things like that. I know we talked about that in one of the other shows, but I think they're not saying you can't come work for us at all. They're saying reapply in 6 months. So, hey, maybe they're trying to help you quit, and it could just be better for your lifestyle.
It is a healthcare environment, but the chronic illnesses, everybody dies. I hate to be the one to tell you that. Another board. Everybody.
Really?
None of us is getting out of this thing alive. Really? But I guess, the chronic illnesses that come with smoking are really expensive.
Not just that, but worker production.
Oh, that's right.
They don't want their workers taking smoke breaks.
Right, because
that's a
be
big
like
part
15 minutes long. Where, you could smash a Twinkie in 8 seconds.
Yeah. I did have a job, and the girl that I worked with smoked, and she was going down every, so often, and I was like, what do I do? I don't want to just run down and just do nothing, but the smoke breaks were
There are things you can really put your finger on when it comes to smoking that maybe you can't when it comes to other unhealthy lifestyle choices.
Yeah, but smokers out there are saying, what about us? What about our rights to be able to smoke?
They're shrinking, that's for sure.
Yeah, my father passed away from lung cancer from smoking, so I'm not a big fan of it, but I can understand both sides of it, because smokers do have rights as well.
There's your profession, there's what you do at work and what you do outside of work, and if nobody's being harmed, I don't know that your employer should get involved if it's not damaging the reputation of the company or hurting anybody else. But maybe because they're a hospital, they feel like they can.
Because they're a private company.
Yeah, they definitely can.
They definitely can.
Let us
we
know
want
what
to
you think.
It's an interesting topic. I'm sure we're going to get a lot of buzz on that one. Hey, wonder if Chelsea Clinton smokes?
Probably not.
No, you think? I don't know. Well, anyway, she is stepping out and into the spotlight. If you haven't heard, she has been hired as a full-time special correspondent for NBC News. Now, she started work for the network on Monday. She has no journalism experience. She actually works in finance. She's pursuing her doctorate at Oxford, but she's going to cover stories for NBC that it's kind of like the feel-good stories for their Making a Difference series. She's not the first president's daughter to be hired. Of course, you know Jenna Bush, daughter of George W. Bush. She works for the Today Show. She's a correspondent. And then Meghan McCain, daughter of Senator McCain. She's a contributor to MSNBC. Now, Clinton, she's been out of the public eye. I always say, we were talking about this before, I don't think I've ever heard her speak.
Nope.
I've never heard Chelsea Clinton talk, so I'm just curious to know what type of correspondent she's going to be. Not saying that she's not going to be able to do the job, but it'll be interesting to see what perspective and dynamic she brings to NBC. She was kind of do the feel-good stories, but it's cool. She started for Network Monday, but then for those, you know, who are in this profession, I know there's some people that are like, you know, we went to school, we worked our way, we're trying to get there, and then you have these people who just so happen
are well known,
They're very well known. You know, Dad was president, and then she just kind of gets a shoe in. Is that fair?
Yeah. It's a toughie because I mean, people would be surprised if you found out the backgrounds of all the people that you watch on TV. Not everybody has a mass communications or a journalism degree. Some folks don't have degrees at all. Some folks have them in political science, history, different things, but get into the business for different ways. I think it'll have to come down to whether she can do the job. And I mean, know that producers are going to be helping. The unsung heroes of this business, the producers, the photographers, the editors, the folks that you don't see.
The face.
Yes.
And the voice, more than anything, the voice.
Yeah. But you know,
haven't heard her voice.
These are tough times for TV. If that's someone they think people are just interested in or going to watch, I get it. I get why they're doing that.
I wanted to pay her dues, though. I wanted to pay her dues. Pay your dues like everybody else.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
I hear you.
She got her job. We'll see how she does.
We'll see how she does.
And we want to know what you think about the Bon Secours and Chelsea Clinton. So join our conversation on Facebook page or follow us on Twitter at HR_show. And what do you know? I mean, I know Jeremy Wheeler's paid his dues. Just about every day he pays the dues here at WAVY.
Yeah. You know, Chelsea Clinton, I think she spoke when her mother was campaigning. I think she actually had a decent-sized speech.
Yeah.
So that was one.
I mean, she hasn't spoken a lot.
But yeah,
sure.
other than
I'm sure
that,
she's used to speaking in public, though.
Yeah, but I think when her mom was campaigning, she actually did quite a bit for that we didn't see. But
town hall meetings.
But it's kind of backwards to some people that the president of NBC News gets a call from Chelsea's people saying, "Hey, Chelsea's kind of thinking about what she wants to do next." Oh, really? Like,
just
I don't even have that man's number.
NBC's doing all the hiring. It's like, what's going on over there?
Yeah.
So. And what's going on over here? We got these warm temperatures. I mean, this is November.
We like it.
We had cold air a while ago. I mean, it was, you know, highs in the 50s and 60s. Now we got 80s and 70s and crazy Hampton roads. That's typical around here.
Crazy.
You're familiar with that. I mean,
Yes, we are.
Wild swings in temperature. So today we're on the upswing. We've got temperatures near 80 degrees. We got some late day showers and storms. That'll lead into tonight and tomorrow. And then tomorrow the bottom drops out. High of 55. That's it. 51 on Friday. And then as we get into the weekend, though, still expecting that little bit of a warm-up. So highs lower 60s one day, upper 60s on Sunday. So some nice weather coming in. But, boy, next 24 hours is going to be a bit of a roller coaster ride. Okay, so let's take a look at the pop quiz for today. First clue, it's straightforward. It's the second largest Virginia city by land. That's a giveaway right there. You can look it up. Ironically, not on the bay. A swamp, a big bridge, a deep creek, and old board game starts the name. So think about those clues. If you know it, submit your answer. TheHamptonRoadshow.com.
And we've got some great prizes this week. We've already given away the gift certificate for a half-day spa package from ARE Health Center and Spa, and the 2 round-trip airline tickets to Orlando, Florida on Allegiant Air, now flying from Newport News, Williamsburg International Airport. And we've got some other great things to give away.
All right, here's what's left. Your group tickets to Busch Gardens Christmastown, a 10-pack of tickets.
Nice.
Gift certificates for downtown Norfolk businesses during the holidays to dine, shop. Also reserve seats for the Norfolk Grand Illumination Parade Saturday night. 4 tickets to see Cirque du Soleil Quidam at Hampton Coliseum. That's their opening night. And everybody who enters our pop quiz trivia all week long will automatically be entered to win the contest week grand prize, a pair of front row seats, meet and greet passes for Amy Grant and Vince Gill's 12 Days of Christmas concert December 8th at the Ted Constant Center.
I want part of that.
Yeah, that would be a neat show. I like them both.
Sounds like fun.
All right.
All right, so we'll draw a fabulous prize for our winner later. Right now, we got to check into the kitchen.
Smelling good over here. We haven't even started anything yet. Well, kind of, the risotto. But we're in the kitchen this morning with Travis Brust from the Williamsburg Inn, going to show us how to make a couple of items from their Regency Room dinner and appetizer menu. Welcome back to the show.
Oh, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
So the lobster risotto and frisee, I'm saying it right, frisee salad.
Frisee salad.
Okay.
So We have a great lobster risotto made with lobster stock. You can use chicken stock if you'd like. Some sauteed lobster, petite peas, a little bit of leeks over the top, nice truffle corn garnish. And then the frisee salad will be mixed with a little bit of baby spinach, accompanied by some seared scallops, and a brown butter vinaigrette, which I'll show you how to make in a few minutes.
I'm going to get to help make it?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Hey, explain kind of how the rooms work there at the Williamsburg Inn. You have the Regency room, and every time you come on, we kind of highlight the different rooms and the different meals.
Right, just kind of going back and forth between the two, but featuring the Regency room this week. Showcasing the fine dining aspect of the resort, and then we also have the terrace room just up the hall from the Regency room, where we have some casual dining, where you can enjoy a cocktail, some small bite menus, and just some casual atmosphere. So
now Thanksgiving's coming up. Are you guys getting busy? Is this
we're getting ready. We're not the largest establishment, but we are going to be roasting 50 turkeys that morning.
How many?
50.
Are you going to be doing all that?
Oh, I have a great staff. Yeah, I have a great staff.
50 turkeys now.
Yeah.
Can people are people making reservations, or are these already pre-booked?
We're pretty well booked up. There's a few slots left at the Regency room, but we're looking at doing approximately 600 people for dinner. So
600. When are you going to get to eat?
Afterwards.
Afterwards.
We have
the
orphans Thanksgiving. You eat that later.
Well, we're going to get started on this when we come back. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We're talking turkeys and helping those in need. Local food banks struggle to keep their shelves stocked every day, but the holidays are especially tough. Coming up, we'll talk with our friends from Bayport Credit Union about the 15th annual Mayflower Marathon nonstop food drive, and they'll tell us how you can help out with this massive effort.
But first, the warm weather is great for today, but if you listen to Jeremy, in a little while the temperatures will drop. So what can you do to keep your home comfortable and warm when the weather outside is not so much? Cheryl Tan got some answers. She'll join us for this week's What's Your Problem?
Welcome back to the Hampton Road Show. Back in the kitchen with Chef Travis Brust from the Williamsburg Inn today. Like we told you, he's going to make a couple of great dishes from the Regency room. Today we're going to start right now, though, with the lobster risotto. So you've already started on the risotto because that takes a little while.
It takes a little time. Standard basic risotto method. We instead of starting with onions, sauteing onions, we started with some shallots. As opposed to onions, just for a different flavor profile. Then we add the arborio rice, and we slowly add 1 cup of wine to that, reduce it down, constantly stirring, slowly adding some lobster stock. You can use chicken stock. I know that at home lobster stock's not too readily available.
Nice. And I see you have a nice spread of ingredients. I want to go over what you have here laid out.
Okay, we've got ourselves some shallot, some lobster meat, we have peas, leeks, some shaved Cervecchio cheese, lobster roe butter, and a nice little assortment of seasonings, herbs, salt, pepper.
What is this again?
So lobster roe butter. It's we take the lobster roe that we harvest from the lobster, just kind of dry it out a little bit in the oven, and then fold it into some butter. And that's what we're going to finish the dish with. So we're having lobster infused many different ways.
Okay.
So actually, if we can start the saute mix here, just a little bit of butter in that.
All right. And these are cubes.
Yeah, just like maybe one or two cubes.
1 or 2 cubes.
Should be fine. I'm going to do a little bit of olive oil, so the combination there.
Okay.
All right. And we'll go ahead and add those shallots to that.
All right.
This is going to be a sauteed mix that we're going to finish the risotto
with. All of the shallots
with.
or just a little spoon?
And 1 spoonful is fine.
All right.
And add all those leeks to that.
All the leeks.
You have good product identification. That's
yes,
good.
I'm trying to have my little photographic memory here. Okay.
There you go. So that's coming together. We're going to melt the leeks down a little bit. Just kind of sweat them out a little.
How do you know when they're done? Do these
they're
like
kind of get weak.
Okay.
Yeah, they're going to get flimsy and wilt down.
Okay.
All right. And what we're going to do is let it go for about 30 more seconds. And we're going to start to finish this risotto. So we're just going to give it a little more stock.
Okay. So the key is to add the stock, stir it.
Slowly.
What are you on, medium heat?
About medium, high heat for most of the way. And then when you get toward the end, you kind of lower it down a little bit more.
Okay.
And can you hand me that shaved Cervecchio cheese?
I can.
All right.
Looks like Parmesan.
Yeah, it is a Parmesan.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Style of Parmesan, Wisconsin.
Oh, you add that in there.
And we're just going to add that right in there.
This is smelling great.
Okay, and then you notice we've got a lot of lobster over here.
We do, so.
We're going to add about 3/4 of that to this.
Okay.
Nice fresh lobster, and the rest goes into the risotto.
Nice.
So we have.
So yeah, like you said. I dropped
what are you
one.
doing?
How did that get there?
That's okay. We'll be okay.
Oh, good.
All right, so we'll kind of incorporate this. So now you have our topping, and we have our risotto base.
Okay.
And can you hand me some of those herbs?
I can. These.
Yeah. So we're just going to do a little bit of. This is parsley and thyme, and that is some chive, which we'll finish that with, and then we're just going to do a little chive in the topping here.
Okay.
And maybe about half of those peas in both sides.
All right.
This is coming together nicely.
And I like these colors. Talk
That's
about comfort food for fall.
And this is a great option for an appetizer for Thanksgiving. You know?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You know, instead of,
People are trying to spice up the menu, you know?
Exactly.
Or they can just come down and
Or they could
have
come
you
down
cook
and
for
enjoy
them.
it. You know, we'll make it for you.
Yeah.
And then we'll just do a little bit of seasoning.
Okay.
A little salt. Finish this off here. And then
Look at that.
it's almost time to plate.
Is it?
So what we're going to do is like you grab that plate up there.
Right here?
I'll have you start plating this guy here. So we're going to do a little bit of risotto first.
All right.
Right down the center. You get that nice lobster, the peas, and I forgot to mention there's saffron in this risotto. That's what gives it the nice orange color.
Okay.
Okay. And then go ahead and just put maybe a little bit of that on top.
Lined it up too?
Yep. Beauty. A little bit more. Good. All right. And then we have this relish here. You can put that down.
Okay.
You're going to grab the relish,
This.
and I've got truffle oil.
This is the relish?
Right. And it's roasted corn and tomatoes.
Okay.
I'm going to finish that with just a little bit of truffle oil.
All right.
A little bit of salt. And some
Told me I was
chives.
like, this is carrots and corn.
Carrots and corn.
It's
Truffle oil. That smells
oil.
nice.
Oh, yeah.
Now we're going to finish that just a little bit over the top.
okay.
We're going to take some of these great juices here.
Okay.
And drizzle the juices over. All right. And then
That's great.
we've got a little
Well, just
crostini.
in time, because we are
And-
out of time, but look at that.
Boom. Done.
Voila. High five. Lots of
Good.
risotto. Okay, we're going to start on our frisee salad in our next segment.
Excellent.
Chef
Sounds
Russ,
good.
thanks so much.
All right, that looks great. Well, we have been spoiled by some pretty mild weather for the last couple of weeks.
I do not mind being spoiled at all, but there have been enough cold days to remind us that the really chilly stuff is just a few weeks away. That may wreak havoc on your wallet, so we're going to go inside one Norfolk home with a team of experts to help you save some money for when the temperatures drop for good in this edition of What's Your Problem?
It's a mission that will take several days and a team of experts to carry out. 3 men are working hard to find, trap, or just plain stop loose air from getting inside. STOP, or the Southeastern Tidewater Opportunity Project, is in charge here, weatherizing this Norfolk home. The first priority is to add insulation to the walls.
This is cellulose. It's made up of recycled newspaper. This weatherization team has drilled holes in the walls of this house that will blow the cellulose into the wall cavity. The homeowner won't see it, but will certainly feel the effects.
When they dense pack this in that wall, it's going to stop the air movement, and it's also going to stop the heat loss. And therefore, any heat loss we're going to stop is going to be a savings to the homeowner.
This step is a little labor and time intensive, requiring renting equipment and having a bit of know-how to pack the walls with cellulose just right. But not all winterizing steps take as much energy.
We're going to go inside that house, weather strip the doors, caulk around windows, look for penetrations that are leaking air, and we're going to seal those plumbing penetrations and electrical penetrations and things like that.
Once inside, weather strip the doors.
When you install it, you want to make sure that it's creating a seal. You don't want it too loose. You don't want it too tight because it's hard to close the door.
You can also wrap the hot water heater with a blanket and look for gaps around pipes.
Open your kitchen cabinet and look in at the wall there, and you'll see where your plumbing is entering in through the wall. And sometimes these holes are a lot bigger than what the pipe is going through, so there's a lot of air movement there. And you spray foam around that. That's going to cut down on that air.
I tell folks that if they have an incense stick and they pass it around the frames of their windows and doors, they can see the air coming in, and that's a great place to start targeting.
Targeting those specific areas can save you a bundle. Virginia Natural Gas is teaming up with the STOP organization to help prep homes for the cold weather.
This weatherization project is being carried out through a special program with Virginia Natural Gas. Who's eligible for this free weatherization?
Well, as part of our Energy Smart program, there are certain residents who meet eligibility in terms of income that can qualify for this particular program.
Even without the help of a team, homeowners can take small steps to get results that will have an impact.
It sure is worth the effort. We've seen that you can save as much as 10% on your heating and cooling bills if you weatherize. And if you do those small things, I mean, you'll see it in your wallet.
When you save them on their heating costs, that's extra money that they can use to either help fix their home up or buy grocery and clothing and take care of medical needs.
Wow, and they put it right back. You wouldn't have known they were there.
There's no way you would ever know, but you'll definitely see the difference in your bills. And you know the cellophane that you can cover the windows with, and that
shrink wrap
foam,
stuff?
right? And that foam stuff that Roger was talking about just costs a few dollars at the home improvement store, and you can definitely see the effects on your bills. And it works for the summer too. So you know, in the summer you do the same steps to keep the cool air in your house. Yeah, just kind of backwards, but it's all good and all makes a difference. And if you want more information on the Stop Weatherization program, so some folks get that for free, we can link that information to thehamptonroadshow.com.
All right, thank you.
All right, it's one of our favorite times in the show where we let you chime in and give us your opinion on what's the hot topic of the day. And we have a couple of them there, Ariane.
Yeah, we do. We're getting a lot of comments on the new hiring policy at one of the Hampton Roads hospitals, DePaul Hospital, that they're going to be testing applicants, new applicants, people that are wanting to work there for nicotine at the end of the month. And they're going to have urine tests, and if they fail, they'll be able to reapply in 6 months. People who currently work there, they're just encouraging them to quit. So we just wanted to know, what did you think about the policy?
That's right. And Billy says, thought a lot about this story when I saw it last night on WAVY. I think it's a great idea because healthcare employees should be model behavior. We kind of like that. And Joyce Barbara Mullen says, I guess if employers can consider having overweight people part of their own insurance or other things, then I would suppose it is just as fair to test smokers and not hire, as they could cost them money as well.
And the reason that they're able to do that is because they're a privately
company, owned by Bon Secours.
So they're able to implement that. Mike Barnett says, good. I've never understood why someone in the medical profession would smoke, knowing all the bad things smoking causes to your body, not to mention time away from work because of being sick. And like you said, you're not a fan of smoking, neither am I, but you can see both sides. And even though it's a private company, the smokers out there, well, just don't apply if you're going to, that's probably not the job for you then.
That's right. And we've also asked you about Chelsea Clinton, hired by NBC to be a special correspondent. And Raymond Sanderlin says, well, I think it's good for her. Congrats. So Chelsea landed a big gig without going through the normal steps as we other journalists. So
you said pay your dues.
Pay your dues.
All right, well, keep buzzing in and sending us your comments. Still ahead on the Hampton Road Show. What do you get when you ask volunteers to work more than 57 hours straight to stock the shelves of local food banks for the holidays?
Well, you get the 15th annual Mayflower Marathon Food Drive. Our friends from Bayport Credit Union are here to tell us more about the event. And it's easy for you, and you'll find out in just a moment. Plus, the weekend kicks off the holidays in Hampton Roads with the annual Grand Illumination Parade in downtown Norfolk, and that means there will be a lot more people crossing over light rail tracks that weren't there last year. Our friends from the Norfolk Police Department are here to go over some ways to stay safe and sound this holiday. We'll talk to them in just a moment.
And of course, don't forget about our pop quiz. You could win one of the fabulous contest week prizes. You can see by entering, you registered for that grand prize, a pair of front row seats and meet and greet passes to see Amy Grant at Vince Gill's 12 Days of Christmas concert. That's on December 8th at the Ted Constant Center. All you have to do, log on to thehamptonroadshow.com, click on that pop quiz button on the top right-hand corner.
Welcome back to the Hampton Road Show. This weekend, the lights in downtown Norfolk will light up, ringing in the holidays around Hampton Roads. Along with the holiday cheer will be more people on the streets, shopping and dining, enjoying the atmosphere. It's a good time to remind you to look out for Norfolk's light rail so your good times don't get derailed. And joining us now here in the audience is the officer Ali Williams and some of the members of the Crime Prevention Unit. Ali Williams, I know there's a lot of things going on right now in Norfolk because of light rail. How's it gone since we've implemented it?
Yes, the light rail system itself has gone very well. There's only been 3 accidents, 2 involving vehicles and 1 involving a bicyclist. But that was early into implementing the light rail, and the problems that they saw have been corrected.
So what it is telling people to use common sense and be careful and look around, and that's what you're trying to do here as we go into the holidays.
There are signs up all over the place. If the sign says don't cross, people don't cross. If the sign says vehicles don't drive on the light rail, the tracks, don't drive on the tracks.
I know, but you're expecting a whole lot more people out there because of the holidays. You're going to have events in downtown Norfolk. Norfolk Scope usually has a lot of events. People are coming to MacArthur Center. Do you expect more traffic?
we expect a lot more traffic. Holiday season's here, a lot of shopping done at MacArthur Mall. You're going to have people that are not familiar with what's going on in Norfolk as far as the light rail, coming from Virginia Beach, Hampton, wherever they may come from. So it's going to be new to them. So we just want to put the message out to make sure to pay attention to the signs.
Okay, pay attention to the signs, but there's also some other things you want them to do. When they come to tracks, look both ways. What are some other safety tips?
Yes, you're going to see signs there that's going to tell you to look both ways, on the actual rail itself and also on the actual the streets. They're actually on the ground, and signs up that'll be in front of you as you cross. Make sure you're using the crosswalks, all the designated areas where you should be crossing at. Vehicles, there are going to be new signs that are going to light up when the rail is near you. Make sure that you're paying attention. There's some no left turn, some no right turn signs. Just pay attention to the signs and be aware of your surroundings.
I think so far, if you've only had 3 accidents, then so far so good. I think that something's working.
Something is definitely working. The signs that are up there, people just being aware of things. You have a few people who are still not paying attention, but for the most part, most people they are.
And how about this? We're going to give you a little bit of a plug. Top Cop, named by the Norfolk Police Department. Congratulations, and what does that mean to you?
Thank you. It's an outstanding accomplishment. I couldn't have done it without the help of my peers and the rest of my unit. It is a work in progress. I'm going to keep going on and keep going on. Working with the kids is something I definitely have a passion for.
You know,
I love it.
You were named Top Cop, but there's a lot of other top cops that you work with. The Norfolk Police Department do a great job, and we just thank you for coming in here today. Congratulations on that award.
It's my pleasure.
Okay, if you want to learn more about how you can be safe in the holidays around light rail, go to hrt.com, and remember, just use common sense. And actually, there it is, gohrt.com. Use common sense and be careful on the roads.
All right, still ahead on the Hampton Roadshow. This week's postcard is from a deserted island, sort of. We'll take you to Port Wool, where the history is as deep as the channel it protects.
But first, we're going to check in with Chef Travis Brest from the Williamsburg Inn to see how he's doing on those tasty dishes. Finish the lobster risotto. We're going to get started on that frisee salad. Stick around. All right, we are back in the kitchen with Chef Travis Brest from the Williamsburg Inn today, making a couple of dishes from their Regency room. We finished our lobster risotto, which looks delish, and now we're about to get started on our frisee salad.
Right.
Let's go over the ingredients first, what you got here.
Okay, first we have some U8 scallops, which have been cut in half, filleted in half, so we get basically 2 smaller scallops out of each one.
Okay.
There's some frisee lettuce and baby spinach, hand-torn croutons, a fennel and tomato relish, some more of that Charvecchio cheese, a little bit of lemon, some seasoning, and a bunch of butter, because we're making a brown butter vinaigrette.
And this is the frisee salad, folks. Yeah. It looks frizzy.
It does look frizzy. And,
Okay, so what do we want to get started and do?
So what we need to do is season the scallops quick, so you can hit them with a little bit of salt.
All right.
And then kind of get these working.
Okay. I like how they're cut in half. You get more bang for your buck there, I guess.
It's also for presentation, too.
Big scallops, too.
Sometimes a large scallop can be a little too overwhelming. So, and we're just going to go ahead and sear these up. You see how nice and dry these are? It's a fresh packed scallop. They're not frozen. Really great product. Gives you great caramelization. And we're going to fry these up in a little bit of butter and olive oil.
Okay.
Now you see here we've got a little bit of butter.
Yes.
And we're browning that to make a brown butter vinaigrette. And if you can add the shallots and the garlic to that.
Okay.
I'm going to wash my hands real quick.
All right. So you're going to be working with 50 turkeys, you said.
50 turkeys.
Feeding about 600 people.
We start we start roasting them off about 6 in the morning, and we don't stop until 8 at night.
Wow, that's amazing.
So now this is going to start to brown a little bit. We're going to add a few leaves of sage.
Just throw them in like this?
Yeah, just like a couple leaves.
All right.
That should be good. That's going to infuse some flavor.
Yeah,
and then
really
just kind of strip the thyme a little bit.
Okay, and you kind of pull from the stem, right?
Right. I'm just going to season the backside of these scallops real quick.
Scallops, those don't take very long to cook,
No,
do they?
especially being this thin. And then you get a nice brown butter crust going on those. Okay. Beautiful.
Smelling good, looking good.
So that's going to come up. Now what we're going to do is we're going to have to start our vinaigrette.
Okay.
And what we're going to do is we're going to fast forward that this has browned.
Okay.
Okay. So we're going to...
Do I want to turn this off?
Yep, you can shut that off, and then I'll flip those over, and they'll finish up just nice.
All right.
We're going to take those goods.
So herbs and everything.
Herbs and everything. We're going to use that as the primary starter.
Okay.
There we go. And then if you could just add the 2 vinegars. We have a sherry vinegar and a balsamic vinegar.
All right.
And so a little bit longer.
What is this?
That's the olive oil that we're going to drizzle in there later. So you can close that up and just choose one like a medium speed.
Golden brown.
There we go. Now it's slowly drizzled. About a quarter of a cup. That's good. And just a little bit more of the butter.
And hold that lid down.
And we should be good. You can shut that off.
All right. Oh, that's cool.
And give that a little seasoning.
All right.
Salt and pepper. And then we're going to finish this with some herbs.
Some salt.
Boom.
And this goes...
And the tricky part is that this goes into the squeeze bottle.
Oh, does it now?
So good luck with that.
All right.
And I'll flip some scallops here.
I got
beautiful
this,
scallops. Very nice. We're almost ready to plate here.
All right. Got a little bit of time.
Yeah.
All right. Got it going here. Oh, those scallops look really good.
Very nice.
Voila.
Pull that off the heat. That is looking good.
As you're plating that app, we got a quick wrap. Where you're located, let folks know.
Okay, we are located at 136 East Francis Street in Colonial Williamsburg.
Okay.
Can't miss the hotel. It's a great hotel, built in 1937.
Okay.
We're just going to take a little squeeze of this here.
Okay.
A little back and forth. And a little mix of the lettuce.
All right.
And the baby spinach. Like that. And then we have this. I've made this previous on the show before.
Yes, you did. I remember that.
And the recipe's on the website.
Okay.
We're just going to put a little bit of this tomato fennel relish down.
All right. I don't want to rush you, but I want you to finish plating it so we can show the folks, because we're going to taste this
We're
at
going to
the
take
end.
3 of these.
Scallops on.
1, 2, and 3. A little shaved Charvecchio cheese. And a couple croutons.
Voila.
And a little bit more dressing.
Chef Travis Bress, very good job. As always, high
thank
five. We're going to taste this delicious, both the dishes, when we come back. Thank you.
Sounds
Great
good.
job.
Thank you.
Boy, that looks good.
Yeah.
All right, let's do postcards time. Let's use a little baseball analogy. If an outfielder can't make the throw to home, he uses a cutoff man.
Exactly. I knew you would like this because you can think about it in baseball terms. So when Fort Monroe's mighty cannons weren't mighty enough to send artillery all the way to Willoughby Spit during the Civil War, a cutoff fort was built right in the middle of the harbor. And Fort Wool still stands on a man-made island today. Here's this week's postcard from Hampton Roads. Well, it had a major role in the Civil War, but Fort Wool stayed active up until World War II. These days, it's enjoying life as a landmark in Hampton. I want to introduce you to Mike Cobb. He's with the Hampton History Museum, but has also written a book all about Fort Wool and its very important role in this nation's history. Thanks for working with us once again on the Hampton Road
welcome
Show.
to the island. Glad to have you here.
Thank you. The trip getting out here was fun.
Oh, we took the police boat and it flew across the water like an arrow.
But people who want to visit Fort Wool will take something a little more slow and easy when they have the time to
But
peruse.
this Hampton tour boat, broad-beamed, beautiful boat, leaves the downtown Hampton, comes out here to Fort Wool, and then goes across the roads to the Norfolk Naval Base.
A lot of folks may get a glimpse of Fort Wool as they're coming across the Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel, but may not realize that you can visit or what they're even looking at. Folks know it has some kind of relationship to Fort Monroe.
It was built right after the War of 1812, designed by a French engineer, Simon Bernard, who had served with Napoleon. And the whole idea of this fort was to be a companion fort to Fort Monroe. First of all, they had to build the island. The notion was to have a crossfire between Fort Monroe and Fort Wool to guard against ships coming into the harbor. This fort, Fort Wool, would have had 232 cannon, 4 tiers of firepower, and a garrison of 1,000 men during wartime. It would have been a mighty fortress.
What do you think surprises people most when they come to visit it today?
Well, Carrie, a lot of things. One, you stand here, the view just takes you away, and you can't really describe it. Just being here, close your eyes, and you can just feel it. But as far as the stories go, one of the stories that people are surprised about is that President Andrew Jackson, the 7th President of the United States, came here often. This was his summer White House. He ran the country from this island. But from these rocks, he made decisions on the nullification crisis, the Peggy Eaton affair, the sad story of Indian removal, the annexation of Texas with General Santa Anna, the bank war. All those great issues of the age were fought right here on this rocky island. And the stories here that unfold are just surprising and magnificent. This little island has so much history to offer. It's just very, very, very wonderful.
So make sure you mark your calendar to come visit Fort Wool and tell them the Hampton Roadshow sent you. It's really a neat place. Up until World War II, they sent folks out there after Pearl Harbor was bombed, and that's one of those places, you know, we think of the water as dividing, cutting up Hampton roads, but that's one of the places where you can look and see how it really brings it together, and what a threat. If enemies could get into the harbor, they could go up the Elizabeth, you know, up the James, and get anywhere and attack from the waterway.
That's great history, and learn about Andrew Jackson, all the cannons.
He got stung by a jellyfish right in the forehead swimming off of Fort Wool. True story. If you want to hear one, I swear there's a ton of stories out there. We didn't have time for them all, but visit the Hampton History Museum to learn more, and we will link that, put that link and put the story at thehamptonroadshow.com. It was really fun.
That was good.
All right, well, people eat for more than just to nourish their bodies, and around this time of the year when the holidays can be as stressful as they can be joyful, many people may deal with those stresses with food. Here now with some insight on how to keep food out of the emotional toolbox is Dr. Margaret Gaglione with Tidewater Bariatrics. Good morning. Welcome back to the Hampton Roadshow.
Thanks very much for having me back. Teaching patients strategies is an important part of obesity management. And many of my patients will tell me that they often overeat, not because they're hungry, but because they're stressed. And often these stressors are negative. So they're either tired or fatigued or feel overwhelmed. And we're really going into a time of those kind of stressors. Sometimes what I will do is use a very concrete analogy for patients. And I'll say, here we have an intellectual toolbox and an emotional toolbox. And I'll say to my patients, if I had to make a business decision, should I use my intellectual toolbox or my emotional toolbox? And my patients will always tell me my intellectual toolbox. If I had to make a parenting decision, they always give me the same answer, intellectual toolbox. And then if I said, if I had a stressful day, which one would I use? And they all say emotional toolbox. Then I ask the question, is food in your emotional toolbox?
And a lot of them say probably
absolutely yes.
Yes.
Okay. So then I say, if we were to take food and alcohol out of your emotional toolbox and put it in your intellectual toolbox, what would be in your emotional toolbox? What else helps you?
What else is filling that void for you?
Right, and a lot of patients are stumped.
Really, they don't know.
If I take Cheetos out of it, if I take Cheetos out of my emotional toolbox.
Not the Cheetos!
If I take cake out of my emotional toolbox, what else is there?
Yeah.
And so trying to get patients to fill their emotional toolbox with things that help them calm down other than food, that's an important part. So, you know, suggesting to patients that exercise, talking with people, maybe taking a nap, maybe they're tired. You know, things that are other than food is a really important thing. And so giving them concrete examples of that.
How does one gauge to know what goes in what toolbox? Like if, you know, if you said food was in their emotional toolbox, do you suggest them to start doing activities, and if that makes them feel good, then perhaps they can replace that with food?
You know,
and go
here's
on?
an example. Like, you know, my kids drove me crazy all day. I deserve that piece of cake. That's sort of an emotional response, right? So getting them to say, you know, my kids drove me crazy all day. I deserve an hour of peace and reading, or I deserve an hour of going out by myself. That's a good response, and it's not harmful. You know, it's doing something good for yourself. I deserve to go out and buy myself some flowers, or music, or reading, or something that's not food related.
Food related. Talk about, I mean, it's holiday time. We're coming up on it. You know, Black Friday is coming up. How do you tell people to just get prepared for that before they just overload themselves or stressed out to the max and to where they can't even just differentiate the two?
The most important thing is to remember to eat well. So, you know, eat your breakfast, eat your lunch, eat your dinner. Don't skip meals.
Okay.
And so if you eat well and are full, you won't get into trouble.
Gotcha.
And a lot of people skip meals, and if you skip meals, you will be hungry. If you're hungry, you will overeat, and that is not a good plan. So if you save up, I'm going to not eat all day, and then I'm going to eat this one big meal, you're going to overeat, and that's not a good plan.
Well, I like how you put that, the emotional toolbox. Of course, we're going to have everything that you talked about and more on our website. To learn more, you can always give Dr. Gaglione a call at 644-6819, or you can check out her website at twb4u.com. Dr. Gaglione, always a pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks for having me back.
All right, great advice there. Food bank volunteers need your help this weekend. It's never been easier to give it to them.
Yeah, you don't even have to get out of your car. Up next on the Hampton Roads Show, our friends from Bayport Credit Union tell us about the 15th annual Mayflower Marathon. Don't go away.
Welcome back in the buzz.
It's good to see you. And you.
And you get a car. All right. So, smoking, we are getting lots of commentary, and it's great to have healthy dialogue here in our Buzz Center, our comments.
Healthy dialogue, good one.
Yeah,
Good
Elizabeth
one,
Caruso says, are they going to start testing for alcohol too? What about employees that are overweight? I don't encourage smoking, but I don't think it's fair to single them out. If it is a smoke-free area and they can't do it at work, then they shouldn't be punished for doing something legal off the clock. Now we have Michelle Murray on Facebook who says, I smoked for 19 years and I can't imagine how many hours of company paid time I wasted on smoke breaks. Add up the cost of time I was out of work for bronchitis and other illnesses, as well as the damage I did to my own body and the offensive smell that lingered when I was around my coworkers. I can completely get behind an employer's decision to not allow it. And that is a smoker for 19 years. And she's
That is an admirable amount of self-reflection. And I agree on many levels, but I think the other folks have a point too about other unhealthy behaviors. But again, as Chris has pointed out many times, the bottom line is private company.
They can do what they want. Really quick, also Chelsea Clinton is the new correspondent for NBC News.
Look at that.
Mike B says, who cares? I just hope that she'll be evaluated as a correspondent, then as a former president's daughter. It's kind of bad for those who have gone through the process of climbing the ladder to get to the top.
Yeah.
And she starts near the top. But you said something I didn't know, that she's going to, or she's
She
willing
said that she will donate her salary to her grandmother's foundation.
That's pretty awesome, though.
I know, so that's like doubly fun when you see somebody go right to the top who doesn't even need the money.
Doesn't even need the money. Come on, Chelsea, help me out. All right. Thanks for sending us your comments, guys.
All right, the holidays put a lot of strain on local food banks, but it's events like the 15th annual Mayflower Marathon that help get the shelves stocked to make sure no one goes hungry for the holidays. Here now to tell us more about how easy it is to help is Donna Ty, volunteer coordinator and a community events manager from the Peninsula Food Bank. Donna, thanks for joining us this morning. And tell us about the food bank and how important it is this time of year to give.
There are so many families struggling. There's so many challenging times right now for families, especially the children, elderly, and every day the working poor families, you know, that are in need of food. Especially this holiday season, we want to make it a wonderful day, a wonderful opportunity for them to have a meal.
And how are the supplies right now?
The demand is up more than ever, and the supplies are low. It's putting a lot of strain on food banks throughout the country, and the need is just there more than ever.
Is it mostly because of the economy right now, you
The
think?
economy has a lot to do with it. A lot of people have lost their jobs. They're underemployed. And nowadays, too, it's the everyday modern face. People that look just like us are in need of food.
Let's talk about the Mayflower Marathon and events like this and how important it is for people out there to give.
This is the opportunity for people to come and give. It starts Friday morning at 5:30 in the morning, and it goes around the clock until Sunday at 3. And we're in need of frozen turkeys, canned goods, non-perishable canned goods, canned fruits, any special item, special canned good to help give these people a holiday meal that they're so deserving of.
And I see it's at the Peninsula Town Center at Coliseum Central. Just drive up. Is it as easy as driving up and dropping off?
That's right. Over the weekend, we're going to have over 300 volunteers. They're going to be out there greeting the donors, going and getting their donations out of the car and putting them in the, we have a container out there on the site. They'll be weighing all the food so we can keep track of how much food's coming in, how many meals that we're going to be able to provide over this holiday season.
So it's really important to do it now because of Thanksgiving coming up.
Right.
And then after that, Christmas.
Right.
So you guys really have a lot of shelves to stock.
We have a lot of shelves to stock and a lot of families to feed.
And I know there's a lot of people out there that have helped, especially the people at Bayport. Talk about their involvement and how thankful you are to that.
Bayport is such a wonderful supporter of hunger relief in our community. They do so many food drives for us throughout the whole year. They help sponsor our annual Tastefully Yours event that we have going into our 18th year as well. So they're always there for us in need. They're a very giving leader in our community.
And here's a chance for you to get involved. Thank you, Donna, for that. 15th Annual Mayflower Marathon, 5:30 a.m. November 18th through 3 o'clock November 20th. Peninsula Town Center at Coliseum Central in Hampton. All donations will benefit the Food Bank of the Virginia Peninsula. You can find out more and how you can help the Food Bank. Stop by any of the 14 Bayport Credit Union locations across Hampton Roads or log on to bayportcu.org and we'll link their website to our website. Donna, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Couldn't be easier. That's great.
There you go.
All righty. Hi, Jeremy Wheeler.
Hi. How are you?
Good. Ready to answer the trivia question.
Ready for the, okay, let's take a look at the pop quiz. And here it is, the second largest Virginia city by land. Ironically, not on the bay. A swamp, a bridge, a deep creek, and old board game starts the name.
A deep creek?
And it's where you...
There's a field of grass.
I was trying to think of one. That was a really good one.
In the west.
There you go.
Chesapeake?
Chess, a peak.
What's the board game?
Chess. Not Monopoly or anything like that, yeah. Sorry.
I was just, I didn't really just ask that, I did.
That's all right. That's all right. Because you think board game, you think
I
other
was
stuff.
thinking like...
Okay, we got these
somebody
prizes here. Yeah, what is the person going to win? Let's take a look.
Yes. We have to give away, we have to tell you what, we already gave away. The spa package from ARE Health Center and Spa is gone. The 2 round-term tickets to Orlando from Allegiant Air, now flying from Newport News Williamsburg Airport. That prize has also taken off. So here's what's still up for grabs.
Take your group to Busch Gardens Christmas Town with a 10-pack of tickets, gift certificates for downtown Norfolk businesses during the holidays in the city. Dine, shop, and reserve seats for the Norfolk's Grand Illumination Parade. 4 tickets to see Cirque du Soleil Quidam at Hampton Coliseum. That is on opening night. And everyone who enters the pop quiz trivia all week long automatically is entered for the grand prize, a pair of front row seats, meet and greet passes to see Amy Grant and Vince Gill's 12 Days of Christmas concert December 8th at the Ted Conson Center. Here's what today's winner is going to receive.
Yeah, this is it right here. Kita!
Cirque du Soleil. All right, don't forget our grand prize winner is on Friday. We'll draw that name right here on the Hampton Road Show.
And then we're going to come back and eat. All right, never fail. Chef Travis Brush from the Williamsburg Inn. This lobster risotto, the scallops is delicious. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ollie Williams. Thanks, guys. Be safe out there around light rail.
All right, have a great rest of the day. We'll be back here tomorrow with another Hampton Road Show. Until then, check in with us at thehamptonroadshow.com. Thanks for watching, everybody.
See you tomorrow. Yum, yum.